Hi guys! Welcome back to our country house again. Late summer is one of our favorite times here, with new fruits and veggies ripening all the time. Sometimes it's so much that we have to get creative to preserve it for later. So of course there will also be a recipe. And every year I make ketchup. So I'm going to show you how it's done. So come along and let's take a look at everything. A quick update about our chokeberry wine. It's been here in the demijohn for 2 weeks already and it's doing well. The foam is gone and it's bubbling nicely. The activity is slowing down gradually, but it's still active and we can see like the bubbles and everything, the fizzing I can hear, and it's like sparkling wine now, but in very early stages. So over the coming weeks and months it should start clearing, like the solids should sink and it should be more transparent and prettier, so we'll see. But I just wanted to say that it looks like it's doing well.
There are so many sunflowers here. We've never had anything like this before. We promise this is the last time we are showing you their progress. I don't think they should get any bigger now, even though we thought that every time we showed you. But now that they are flowering, I think they will be over soon. There are still some flowers or blooms that will come, so that's great. That means they will be here for some time still. It looks like it's on the northern side with less sun, so that's why it's delayed. But that's great. We will be able to enjoy them for longer.
We have quite a lot of grapes, which is an amazing surprise. In the previous years there was often black rot and the fruits kinda shriveled and dried out and were black and terrible, so no harvest. But this year, I don't know, the conditions were better or something, and there are really a lot of grapes. The blue ones as well as the green ones, so it looks very nice. This is our little vineyard here next to the small house, which is here. So just a few plants, and they were here already when we bought the property. We planted 2 new ones. So yeah, this is where the grapes come from. This is my lunch for today. Baked eggplants and a cauliflower, everything from our garden, and yay, I'm looking forward to this. It's so great to use veggies from our garden. So I added just a bit of oil, salt, spices, mixed everything, and then I was baking for 30 minutes. And here we are. This lunch is ready. We use the grapes as a nice snack, so we eat them raw. Well, mainly me, because Tommy doesn't like seeds inside of grapes, and there are seeds here. We already planted 2 plants of seedless grapes, but they are still growing and we haven't had fruits on those ones yet. And it's a nice mix of blue ones and green ones, so that's cool. And here I made a grape juice. It's quite strong, like acidic, and sometimes we can feel it on our mouths when we drink it, like this acidity or something. So it's diluted a little bit with water, but otherwise it's sweet. You don't have to add sugar or anything, so that's very nice. And here we got an apple cider from our neighbor. So he was telling us that we should pick our apples from the ground because there are a lot fallen, and he has the device outside so he can make more for us. So we will probably do that.
We have more and more fruits from the plum family in our garden. This year we had a couple of Mirabelle plums on this tree. We already ate them, but they were delicious, believe me. And now we have these red green gauges. Oh, this one is very soft actually. So that's fun as well.
So a red fruited green gauge.
Sure. A lot of them grow here wildly. This was already here when we bought the place, and it's on the border with our neighbors next to the fence. So both of us can have as many fruits as we can have, as we want, because there are a lot, at least this year. I'm not sure what this one is. I think it will be a cherry plum. It's a worm. This one might have a worm as well here. Anyway, they are delicious. The 10th one doesn't have a worm, it seems. So I can swallow it this time.
And how is it?
I think it is a cherry plum. The inside is sweet, just the peel is a little bit sour, but it's good.
Okay. But worms seem to like these ones a lot.
Or maybe it's usually the first ones that you see ripe are usually bad, and that's why they got ripe faster.
Oh.
Because you see that the most of them are not yet ripe, so we need to wait for the good ones.
Okay.
These are the typical Czech plums. These are old trees that were here already as well. You can see a lot of them on the ground. They fall off a lot. I think the tree is too old and there are too many fruits for the tree to handle. But they are still good. And we like to dehydrate these. This one is definitely ripe and nice inside.
So they are greenish inside and purple or violet on the outside.
And they are just sweet. There's nothing sour about them. Green gauges are my favorite to eat straight from hand because they are the sweetest. And the animals, the insects know it too because it's buzzing here. It's interesting for me that bees like the fruits because normally bees ignore fruits and they just want flowers. But here you can see bees flying above the ground and just taking the sugar, I guess, from the fruit.
Yes.
So very sweet and juicy. The green gauge tree is quite big because it's an old one. We didn't even know it was a green gauge until like 1 or 2 years later after we bought the place when it had fruit for the first time in front of us at least.
Yeah, and that was such a nice surprise.
Yeah.
We were amazed by the taste.
Yeah, they are really not good for anything much other than eating them raw, I think. They are difficult to work with and they fall on the ground a lot.
Yeah, they are soft and go bad quickly.
We planted some of the cherry plums in our hedge next to the fence. They grow quite quickly, which we like. So the fact that they have edible fruits is just a nice bonus for us. We don't necessarily need to harvest them all. It's interesting that the cherry plums can have different colors. We have yellow ones, we have red ones, and this tree that is old but small has green fruits. And they always taste the same basically.
And a lot of them are falling down from this tree, so that's also different when you compare them. Not all the cherry plums are like that.
And here's a blackthorn shrub, which is also related to plums. It's from the plum family. This one is very common in the countryside. It grows very commonly everywhere. When we go for a walk, we see it everywhere, just like wild roses. But this one is not really edible when it's raw. Ideally, you need to let it freeze, and then it becomes softer and less horrible.
Astringent, these ones are very astringent, so your mouth gets very dry, you know, when you eat them. Yeah.
They usually make either alcohol out of it or jam, but nobody eats it raw.
Yeah.
We finally have a lot of tomatoes to harvest. The season started quite late because of colder summer, but now we see a lot of red tomatoes. I already picked a lot of them as well, so they are starting to accumulate, so we'll need to do something about that.
Yes, there are so many fruits, and you can see we have so many plants, so this harvest should be amazing and maybe overwhelming.
Hopefully, if it doesn't start freezing soon, because we already had one night when it was almost freezing in August, which never happens.
Yeah.
So we were almost done, but now it's warmer again. So hopefully we'll have some warm days, warm sunny days, so more tomatoes would get ripe soon.
Yes, so sun, bring it on. Where are you? Oh my God, it's not happening again, but at least it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah. It's time to dehydrate tomatoes. Last year it was a success, at least that's what Peter tells me, because I don't eat them dehydrated. But now we have a lot of cherry tomatoes, so that's a great opportunity to get rid of them. So we will do one batch tonight and we'll see how many we will still have. Maybe we'll do another one later. It goes quite fast because Peter just splits them in half and I just put them on the plate or whatever it is. So we will be done very quickly, I think.
We got more cider from our neighbor. So here 5 liters and here additional. I was pasteurizing this part, so this should last longer, and maybe I will be pasteurizing this as well, but we don't have enough bottles or anything, so it's difficult. Interesting thing, this is made from our apples that were fallen on the ground, which is cool, otherwise we wouldn't have done anything with them. So it's very nice. And these are our dehydrated tomatoes. They look very pretty, vibrant. I like it. As every year we have quite a lot of tomatoes, and every year I make ketchup. So I'm going to show you how it's done. It's not very difficult. This is everything we will need, hopefully. I prepared everything, it looks so nice. So here we have 1.5 kilograms of tomatoes. I cut them into smaller pieces, but not too small. We will cook everything, so it's okay like this. Here we have 100 grams of chopped onions. These ones are shallots from our garden, but it would be okay to use normal onions. Here we have 2 cloves of garlic chopped into small pieces, 80 milliliters of apple cider vinegar, and here we have 100 grams of sugar. And we also need various spices. So 1 teaspoon of salt, this is not a spice, and here 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper. I love it, so many things. Okay, here we have powdered cloves, so 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a bit of nutmeg. Everything is powdered. And here we have 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder. You know, I was grinding the mustard seeds, and here we have the powder. And we will also need 1 bay leaf, so 1 of these. Hopefully this wasn't too boring naming all the ingredients, but yeah, from this we will get ketchup. It's kinda a miracle, so hopefully it will work out. And now we will put everything here into the pan. So we will start with the tomatoes, like this. Then we will add the onions, garlic, and 1 bay leaf. And that's everything. So everything is in there except sugar. Sugar will come towards the end, so not now. But all the other things are here. We can stir this. We stirred everything thoroughly, and now it's starting to boil. We will cover this, lower the heat, so this will be on a low heat for 1 hour and 15 minutes, for quite a long time. That's why I have it here in this pan and not in a pot. This is a non-stick pan. I'm always afraid that I could burn everything. So this is safer, I would say. So 1 hour 15 minutes on low heat, and it will cook and it will settle a bit and everything, and then we will continue. We are back. 1 hour and 15 minutes went by like nothing, and it looks like this. Everything is soft. There is still quite a lot of liquid. The first step is to remove this leaf. That would be not great if we forgot that in the ketchup, because now we are going to blend everything, but not here. We will move it here into the pot. Here I have my favorite immersion blender. We have only one here, but I use it so often. It's a necessity at the country house. So I'm going to blend this. Here we have it in the pot, and this will be blended very thoroughly. After this is blended, here we have a food mill, And we need to put everything through the food mill because there are seeds in the tomatoes. So we will pour part of this here. And we will mill this, or whatever the word is. This will take some time, so you have to be patient. It's a necessity to have patience in the kitchen. We are almost done. Look, there is almost nothing left in the food mill, which is very nice. Finally. We are done here. Look, this is our future ketchup.
Yum.
Yes, and now we are going to put it back here in the cleaned pan. Tommy was cleaning this.
I'm helping.
Yes, 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 he is here. So let's pour this back in. And finally, it's this sugar's time to shine. It's going in, so 100 grams of sugar. And let's stir this in. And we will cook this for 15 minutes. So we will be here for 15 minutes stirring. It's important because it's denser now and it could burn or something. 15 minutes later, here we are, and now our objective is to pour the ketchup here into the jars, but it would be very difficult directly from the pan. So we will put it here into this old fairy tale-like pot first, and it should be easier to pour from this one. So this is the most difficult task, to put this here. Is it flowing into the pot? Or somewhere?
Into the pot.
Okay.
But not the way you would think. Goes to the bottom of the pan first.
Yes, yes, yes. I know this from when I was making jams. The steps are similar, so I know all the setbacks already. But when I know them, that doesn't mean that they won't cause a disaster. You never know.
But it will be a known disaster.
Yes, a known disaster. That's very nice. But it looks like, look, we are there and it's almost full. Let's pour this in. The pot has this thingy, so it should flow normally.
You call it a beak.
What?
A beak, no? Like a bird's beak. Is it a beak?
I don't know that word in English, so...
Bird's mouth.
And it looks like I was being very ambitious with the number of jars here. Okay, so 2 jars. They are big and it's very hot, so this will, it's sterilized and this could last for quite some time. Let's seal this.
With a kiss.
And we need to turn this upside down for 5 minutes and then back, and the seal will be very strong. There will be vacuum or something. So I think we are done with the ketchup. I forgot to mention this ketchup should resemble the sweet Hellmann's ketchup. Every recipe is different, and of course it also depends on the kind of tomatoes you used. But yeah, that's what we are kinda aiming for. And I also wanted to show you this. We will not throw this out, the seeds and peel from the tomatoes. Tommy doesn't like this, but I love to eat this. You can put this on a toast or something, it's very nice. or you can eat it just like this.
Ew.
It's so good, it's very ketchupy. And the combination of the peel and the seeds, it's very nice. The seeds are not very hard, so it's not terrible. I recommend to try this. It's nice.